And welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 2 of the Universal Open, presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. Now, we're continuing to pioneer the way for 2v2 Rocket League this year, as we have some of the best in North America taking on some of the best in Europe for a slice of that $100,000 prize pool. Now, more online qualifiers coming your way this time, and it's the West region we're going to be covering this week. We've already had 4 weeks of action. We're into our 5th. We've got another week ahead of us, and of course, we've had some LAN events in the meantime. But it's not just me. Of course, it's not just me. Unfortunately for everyone, it's not just me. It's Achieves and Shogun as well. The Dream Team are back. Week 4, gentlemen.
Yes.
I mean, where has the time gone?
Well, it's gone forward, thankfully, because I would get a little bit concerned.
Always
if it
does,
would go.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. And honestly,
it's a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
I'm more impressed that you can buy into your own hype that much, and I love that.
Thank you.
What do
I
you
appreciate
mean?
the confidence.
What do you mean? You've been around us two now for
I've seen
a
you
month,
buy into your own hype.
and you're surprised that Onset cannot do the same.
Hey, look.
No. Never mind, I take that back. He's right.
I'm a magical man. Anyway, let's obviously we want you guys to be involved as well, and we do want you to be involved. I've got my phone on me. We've got a phone on us this week because we want to hear your tweets coming in. Any questions for the guys on the desk, etc. Use the hashtag UOS2. You can see it above Achieves' head, and of course head over to Twitter and follow us at Universal Open as well. Now, the first thing we should do, as always, gentlemen, is how does this all work? Well, let's show you exactly how this works, and let's have a look at the format for what is going down and what has gone down and what is to come still. We've had the East, we've had the Northeast, we've had the Central qualifiers, we've also had 2 of our regional finals last weekend. We had the Washington, D.C. and the New York events going down. Now we're moving on to the West qualifiers. The top 4 will go through to join the other teams here for the Central region. We have the Chicago regional finals to come, and we have the San Francisco regional finals to come, and then next week, the one I'm looking forward to the most, because I am very biased to my region. Of course, it is Europe, where we have 4 qualifiers from the online portion of the competition going through to our grand finals to join the qualifiers from our regionals. All of this is coming down to this now. Stamford, Connecticut, 8 teams, August 24th to 28th. Get it in your diaries. Make sure that your weekend is clear, because that is going to be one hell of a week, gentlemen. Now let's have a brisk bracket update. Let's have a look at the West closed qualifier and see exactly the teams that we're going to have and what's going to be going down. We've got G2 Esports B taking on Team Sub NRL. There we go. Sub and RL. We got it. Exodus taking on Genesis. Applesauce taking on Margaritaville. Unfortunately, Margaritaville look like they've maybe had too many margaritas and fallen through 3-0 there. Ghost Gaming taking on the Rejects. Sizzle Your Cob taking on Chickens. Lights Out taking on Fierce Pelicans. Counterlogic Gaming taking on Deep Breath Mark. CALPOLYSLOMONA. Yes, absolutely nailed it.
So close.
Smiley. No, it was right. It was 100% right. Smiley taking on Lethality there, and you can see some teams already falling into our lower bracket, and some teams already moved along. Now, next thing we do, let's have a look at the fixtures that we've got coming up for today and show you some of the action we're going to be bringing to you. We're starting off with Counterlogic Gaming taking on CALPOLYSLOMONA. Achieves?
Yeah.
Thank you. Nailed it. That was just I wanted your verification if I got that one
Aced
right.
it.
And then we've got our lower bracket round 1, upper bracket round 2, and another upper bracket game to come after that. Now, let's talk about our game number 1. Counterlogic Gaming taking on CALPOLYSLOMONA.
Are you just going to change the way you say it every time?
Do you know what? I might now. Now that's going to be it.
I believe it.
I'm renaming this team every single time, and that's what's going to happen. But let's talk a little bit about this first game that we've got coming up, gentlemen.
Yeah, a little bit about Cal Poly. So these guys played in CRL. They played on Cal Poly Pomona, actually. So I'm not sure why they threw in the slow bit from the other
It's just
college.
throw a curveball up for Onset.
It's all college, and it was probably just to throw off Onset. But yeah, they played together over there. Venny was a freshman last year. Good job, Kev was a senior. They played pretty decently. They did okay in the Western region. So this will be their first step up, though, in really stiff competition, versus people from the RLCS and stuff like that. So might have their work cut out for them. CLG will be a pretty tough test, I think.
Yeah, and then we're looking on the other side, we've got Counterlogic Gaming, sort of a team that sort of speaks for themselves, but they're coming off what's been now 2 seasons of the RLCS where they just haven't been performing up to standard. There's been many calls out there that maybe Freeze is just not where Dapper really shines, but we've also seen the case for multiple weeks here where the Wands players are really stepping up. Dapper, he's sort of well known for this. I'm not too sure where he stands currently, but if he's going to perform somewhere, this kind of has to be it.
Yeah, he definitely did develop that name really in the 1v1 thing. And Mio as well, he was part of that Selfless roster in Season 3. Kind of took a step off after the Season 3 World Championships, came back as a sub for Renegades. And then he said, you know what, it's time to get back on the grind. He's teaming with Dapper again. I believe, have they announced their roster? I'm not sure.
I feel everyone's announced
it.
It's sort of too much noise regarding that.
Yeah,
at the moment. We'll shift for that soon.
Well, one thing for you to keep your eyes on, of course, as always, for you beautiful viewers at home, is for our Dual Force. It's not actually. It's the Dual Force Player of the Match. That's what it is. Of course it is. It always is. It has been every single time, Mark. You should know this by now. And that is the achievement unlock. You can see it. That will be given to any player who scores 7 goals, and makes 11 assists during one series. So keep your eyes out for that. Apparently, I've managed to get it, which is impressive every week. Thank you guys.
Every single week.
Consistency is hard.
I appreciate your love and support. That's why I have you here. But another thing that we should make you aware of is thanks to our fantastic partners over at Soylent, for every single goal that is scored during the Universal Open Season 2, they will be donating 10 meals to the World Food Programme over in the USA. It's a fantastic cause, and thanks again to Soylent for being involved. If you want to get involved and find out some more information yourself, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. We've done really well so far. We've donated a lot of meals, so Soylent have donated a lot of meals because we've had a lot of goals scored. Wondering if we're going to manage to break that record today, because every time it's been pretty close. Last week we came a little bit short last week. I think it was week 3.
Week 3, 107.
We got 107. So obviously that's something for everyone to keep their eyes out for, as well as that achievement unlock, of course. Now, gentlemen, let's talk a little bit more about some of the teams that we've got here today. We've sort of touched on match 1, and before we get into it, let's talk about some of the other teams that we have in our bracket. Any standout performers and anyone that you're expecting? I always like getting your sort of early feels on this one of the predictions, because there's always an upset along the way. We've learned that.
Yeah.
That's why
we've got rid of the Joker card though, so we can't play that.
Well, you never know. It could appear again due to the magic of art. I do have a Sharpie with me.
But teams to look out for, of course, Scissor Yurkam is back. They took 3rd place last year in the Universal Open in the Grand Finals. Went all the way through the losers bracket, had a heck of a go. And a team that I'm looking forward to see how they do is Hato in Chicago on Applesauce, because I always really like those guys. They perform pretty well in the RLCS. Maybe not, or I suppose it was rival series, but not this time around. Not as good as they would have hoped. But Chicago and Hato have always been 2 very strong players. Looking forward for Chicago to kind of come out here and be like, hey, this is what I can do in 2v2 as well, and take that goal scoring potential up another couple notches.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you when it comes to Applesauce. They were a team that Hato was actually very much a player that I was looking at last season, who I was very disappointed in, not necessarily in the way he was played, but the way he was used on his team. I always thought he could have been used more, and he would have made much more of a difference, but there's a lot of teams here. We said last week that there was a lot of depth, but I'm looking down here and I just go, I know. I think we can get for the first time, the majority of the people we've got in here, we are pretty confident on who's actually on the team. So every single week we go, more depth, and as we saw last week, day 1 was crazy last time around. We could be in store for very much the same this time around here.
So you would think so far that the Western region, from the names in front of you, at least on paper, is the strongest looking region so far?
So I wouldn't say the strongest in terms of top level talent.
Okay.
But I would definitely say the depth is probably there.
Okay.
I would definitely say, in terms of which team would, maybe the 4th seed that we send through this week, probably be stronger than the 4th seed we would send in from other regions.
One thing we should make you all aware of as well is we obviously did have our regional finals for a couple of regions, and it is G2 and Ghost Gaming who made it through, gentlemen. I know that you were both watching that. What were your thoughts on what you saw? Yeah,
Torment and Fireburner got knocked out on Team Word, and a pretty decent performance from FlyQuest as well. So that was good to see out of those guys, and that was a quite a run through that day on the bracket, to say the least.
And unfortunately, we saw the good old-fashioned, the well-known Splice collapse, which it's happening. Yeah. It kind of gets to the point where you're no longer, us as broadcasters, looking at just going, oh wow, we're not nitpicking here. It's just happening a lot, and the more it happens, obviously, the more it's going to weigh on their minds. So hopefully they can get over that soon.
They started so well as well. I was watching, especially Jay Wismont. He was making some plays in those first couple of games. I think it's the nicest way, in the best positive way. I mean, it's he was dominating at some points during those early games, but. Again, just coming up short. I
would love it if they
almost need someone just to shake them and just be like,
no, they need someone that tells them, oh, that first one didn't count.
Yeah.
So that way they think that they don't know that they're about to win the series. That way they can't collapse.
It's very, very true. Well, we're just moments away. We're about to get into our game number 1. So let's get straight into this one. We're starting off, of course, with our first game of the day. And, of course, it's going to be Counterlogic Gaming taking on the name I still can't say. And it's Chiefs and Shogun to take you through the action.
Oh, this is the week where the person that's most well known for getting names wrong is going to have so much fun. My boy Pluto is back here this week.
Yes, he is on Genesis.
Of Counterlogic Gaming, this is pretty much going to be the match that they're looking for to assert dominance. At the same time, we have been caught out a few times here.
Yeah, there have been a couple of pretty good showings, and, you know, maybe Kev and Vinny, if they were going to have a first-round matchup and have it be versus some really great players out of the RLCS, I'm definitely sure they're happy at CLG and not Sozyurkov or G2, for example.
Miho, straight over to the corner. He tries to steal. In fact, he just decides to steal the life of one of his opponents. And Dapper, he's got to try and find a ridiculous angle. It was an open net, but that was still difficult.
Yeah, definitely. After how many times we saw Crossbar get hit last week, definitely feels good to have this one go
posted. That looks harder
posted
from the
in.
other angle.
Yeah, it did look a little bit harder, but Dapper was pretty clean all the way, and you'd hope, you know, with how good he is, he's never going to miss that one.
So CLG, I've got the early lead. Kev, just going to need to try and take control of this ball. It'll be very easy, especially when you're against players as good as Counterlogic Gaming, to keep throwing the ball back into their opponent's side of the field, but they can't afford to do that. You've got to take control. You've got to create your own plays.
Yeah,
and I don't like these.
And that is a bit of a habit that I noticed in CRL from a couple of the teams. They very much had that long, clear mentality. Kev and Vinny did an okay job every now and again, but that is definitely a trap they can fall into. And Dapper and Mio, they've had a bit of a rough go recently, like you were talking about on the desk, and that's a good shot, but not placed well enough. But if anyone's going to be able to punish them for getting those meaty touches that we like to talk about, it'll be Dapper and Mio for sure.
Good challenge there from Miho. Dapper takes the follow-up shot. That's not going to do enough to challenge Kev's defense. However, that certainly will, and that opens up a little bit more space for Miho.
One
you
on
see
two.
Dapper, he's just waiting for this pass, and he's just not going to get there in time.
Vinny had a ton of time to figure that one out. Looked like Mio had a little bit of an issue getting that dribble started and really getting that play going. So they had a clean 2-on-1, and they just took a lot of extra time over on the CLG side. Surprising.
Dapper straight back down. Miho's there once again. They've tried this play a few times now. They haven't quite finished it off. Counterlogic Gaming, they're going to need to be a little bit more clinical when they move on to this tournament, if they can get past their opponents in front of them right now. But here's the curious bit now for CALPOLYSLOMONA. I feel like I got it right. I got it right. Boom!
CALPOLYSLOMONA. I still don't know why they named themselves that.
Did you ever, like, in your time doing CRL,
Yeah.
did you ever ask them what they were majoring in?
I did. I actually did.
Is
yeah.
it an English language major?
No. One is microbiology, the other was computer engineering.
I wish that his name was Micro. As Dapper will be turning that one in for a 2-goal lead. Been struggling to find the angles recently. Well, at least in terms of putting them into dangerous positions. However, that one, not going to struggle with at all.
Yeah, not a very good clear off the back wall. Not too much else to say off that. That one's got to get all the way out to safety into the corner. Tip it off the ceiling like that, asking to get punished. Vinny just couldn't do much.
So for those of you that haven't been tuning in for all of our broadcasts, firstly, why haven't you? But there is a lower bracket around here.
Ooh, banger.
There's a second chance. What a save that is from Venny. That deserves to not go in, but Dapper will round out the hat trick. Your saves can be good, but they've also got to be clears.
Yeah, they ripped into that one, and Vinny just got a little bit too far under that ball. Dapper, great presence of mind, making sure to get that ball placed properly. It's very easy to just rush that shot and either punch it off the bar or right back into the defense, so good finish from Dapper. You said they needed to be clinical, and that was it.
I do actually like the change that we're seeing here from CLG. It's less infield passing and more just forcing a save and following up on whatever touch they do.
It is good to get the motor running, and it will definitely test Kev and Vinny. Because, you know, while they're capable... Oh, my goodness. I didn't think that one was going to go through at all, but, you know, Mio has him on a string and just takes him all the way there.
Yeah, Mio just taking this all the way back down, and Venny, I don't think Venny really expected the effort to do too much there. Sort of was positioning himself, prepared to start launching himself towards the blue side.
The back wall. Thought the hard touch off the back wall was coming. And Miho said, nope, not today.
Now, Achieves.
Yes.
you've been around us now for a while. What is the word? What are the words? What is the phrase that we go for in this situation?
In terms of...
How much mercy should be displayed?
I believe the term you're looking for is no mercy?
I believe you're absolutely right. Straight back down.
Ooh, a chance to score. Oh, Kiev has no boost. Had to give up the ball. Unfortunate.
Miho looking for his second, but it's going to be chopped out that time by Kev. Benny up high. Infield pass attempted from Dapper. It's going to be read by Miho. That is much better. And there's going to be absolutely no one as it agonizingly goes into the back of the net.
You know, the worst part in that one is, while we did get the goal, Miho does take away Dapper's assist with this last touch.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be complaining about that.
I would.
Really?
If I was Dapper, I'd be like,
no, I'm not in the position of Dapper right now. I'm in the position of Miho.
No, if I'm
You
Dapper,
see this
I'm like,
solo
come on.
goal I scored, Miho? Dapper? You didn't do nothing. All me. Anyway, Miho, the solo goal king, is actually get blocked and almost went into the back of the net.
I think it is good for Kevin Venny to get a couple tries here at the end of this match to get on offense. They've really been under not the strongest pressure from Dapper and Miho, but they have done just a great job of really making them think on defense with the, you know, like that little backflip delayed short hop dribble from Miho right there out of the midfield. And I think it's kind of just getting in the heads a little bit of Venny and good job Kev. They're expecting Dapper and Miho to come out and be mega fast.
So they actually did like this offense, and they will be getting a goal for it. But that's the first time we've seen CALPOLYSLOMONA actually trying to play the ball out. Well, I actually almost don't even know if it was intentional, because the first touch was just a complete launch and then was redirected. But either way, it wasn't just boom and hope.
Yeah.
And that's better from them.
They had a follow-up. And yeah, it was a pretty rough game one. And I actually think this could very likely be a 3-0, but I think the series will get better as it goes on, as Kev and Venny get a stronger hold on how they like to approach the game.
Yeah, a little bit of a foothold, but the perfect start there for CLG. And we've seen a couple of teams that have been sort of the favourite teams going into their first games. A little bit of a slow start for them in previous week, but that's exactly the kind of start they would have wanted. Just no rust, no cobwebs there, just business as usual.
Yeah, I think especially if you are CLG, you want to sort of establish roughly where you are and then, you know, get the win and then relax into it and just, you know, have whatever fun you want to do. I mean, we saw towards the end that they were definitely being a bit cheeky with some of the plays that they were going for, but make sure you've got the win in and secured, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, and I was talking about it a little bit in the middle of this game. It was really just Kev and Venny. They kind of got put through the ringer of everything, and I think it was just Miho and Dapper seeing, all right, what can these guys do on defense? What are they really capable of, and how much do we have to test them to force a mistake? And a lot of it happened around those walls when they were approaching the goal, and they just had to really figure out exactly what they were going for, and they would just slightly flub the touch or something. And I think they were just so much adrenaline to get on broadcast here versus Dapper and Dapper
is
and
a better
Miho. I think they were just so ready to get on the pitch and play Rocket League that they just weren't ready to have to slow down a little bit.
It wasn't even the hardest name in the...
I know, right? It's not even CALPOLYSLOMONA.
Like, everyone expected me to mess that up, so I just didn't try. But Achieves, I'm disappointed in you.
Me too.
It's all right.
So
You'll
the big
come
thing
back
is right now for CALPOLYSLOMONA, yes,
nailed it.
is these backboards. Like, these need to get sorted out a lot, because every single time it's getting put towards them on the backboard, they're sort of getting touches that are just flopping straight down in front of their own net, and they've been unable to clear immediately after that. It's got to either go into the corner, or it's got to go out entirely. They cannot afford to drop it straight down and expect your teammate to be faster than Miho or Dapper. It's just not going to happen. They've got to be much cleaner.
They've got to be a bit more wary of the danger that they might be creating on their own doorstep, is what you're saying. Looks like game number 2 is about to get underway as well. I mean, CLG look pretty strong there. I mean, you've given your opinion on what something that, you know, CALPOLYSLOMONA.
Hey!
Nailed it. Said very slowly.
Honestly, can't wait to get these guys off.
I can't wait till game 2. You've given your opinion on one thing they can improve on. Achieves, what do you think that they could add to their game in this second game? Maybe just to give themselves a bit more of a foothold.
Shogun hinted on it a little bit. It's really that dump and chase strategy that is going to be their worst enemy. They're going to have to keep the ball right here. This is something they need to keep close to them and be able to follow up.
There's going to be 2 committed. Ball out to the corner. Miho, he's got the carry. Good flick, and that's 2 committed.
Yep.
Dapper will put that one into the back of the net. But that cannot be how you challenge for the ball.
Yeah, it actually all stems up from that touch off the side wall. It was a little bit too hard, and both of them ended up going for it because they knew they were going to lose possession, and they really wanted to try and hang on to it instead of giving up on the play and going back to defense, because that's what they spent the entirety of Game 1 doing, was being on defense, and they wanted to try and get aggressive, and they just ended up double committing.
I would kind of like CALPOLYSLOMONA just to try and have a shadow player for a change on the way back. Very often it seems like it is either all offense or all defense. Get someone rotating back and put someone just to slow them down a little bit. You don't have to try and win the ball back. Because Venny, he's going to take a step. Well, he's making sure of that one. And you know what? I appreciate that.
I agree. This is well done by Venny. It's so easy to just be like, all right, let's just crunch this one.
That's the hardest shot in the game right there. You think I'm joking. I'm not.
No, you're absolutely not. You're just thinking, all right, let's crunch this one into the middle. And you realize it's coming at a slightly weird angle. You're coming at it from a slightly weird angle, and you just push it wide. And Vinny's like, all right.
You know what? The angle would help. If it was dead on central, that's when you're done.
Then you just throw it off the bar. Every time.
I'll throw it anywhere apart from the net. Venny now. Ball control in his possession. He's got a passing opportunity, but that's a nice flick. This is much better right now. I got a bit too close, but that demo will help out. Miho looking to chase across, and that is going to be... That's a defensive flub.
Yeah, I was about to say, what happened to Kev here? I was watching Venny out of the corner, and Miho, this is just a straight power slide cut, and he just gets beat. He was not ready for that, just the hard cut from Miho out of the corner to the back post, and Kev just caught overcommitting to the near side of the net.
It can certainly catch you out, though.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, it's the corner. You've got two people back.
Yeah, what are the odds, right?
Why would Miho come forwards? Well, turns out it's because he sees a slight opening. It's going to be Dapper just over the top. I don't think there's anyone back just yet, so as long as Dapper can take this early, he just slightly misses the target and just slightly misses his teammate. Miho just about there to save, but he's not going to be there in time. 2-0.
Didn't quite make it back in time. Vinny with a great challenge out of the midfield, and Miho was just on no boost, waiting at the top of the orange box. Just not respecting the clear option. Maybe had a bit more faith in Dapper to get that ball back, or at least challenge for it in the orange half, but both of them just get straight beat. Miho a little bit too aggressive.
Kev immediately for the shot, and for the first time this series, CALPOLYSLOMONA have got the lead.
Cheat up from CLG. One goes for the boost on CPSLOMONA, and it pops straight up. And if you're Miho, that is the worst case scenario.
I gotta say, I much prefer... there's two different styles to the cheat up strategy.
Yep.
Have someone really close, and have someone just a little bit further back.
About halfway.
Yes, I'm definitely a fan of the halfway.
Yeah, it definitely does allow for some flexibility if that ball does go straight up. You can still go up and challenge. It just gives you the note button. Oh, no.
Well, speaking of the note button.
The note button is right. Again, just a high touch off the backboard saying, what can you do with it? The answer's nothing. Another missed touch, and that's been the real problem. They've been on the backboard and they've missed it. They've been off the backboard and they haven't been able to get up and miss it. It seems really that backboard is going to be the bread and butter of CLG in this series.
And you know they would have seen it as well. CLG are just going to do that as many times. They're just going to keep doing it until it stops working. That's just over the top. Mio's got the solo goal. This one is legit. 4-3.
So let's see. It's a straight dribble, and just Venny had to really decide if he wanted to try and challenge for that one or not. He decided to try and play aggressive. I don't know if I agree with it. There's still 3 minutes on the clock. His teammate's not back and set on defense.
Your role there is to buy time. If he can even, make Miho doubt it for a second, his teammate can get there for a demo.
Absolutely. All he's got to do is allow that little bit of extra space.
The thing is, I feel like he just didn't have to move. If he just stays on the goal line, it forces Miho to slow down, or at least not flick it over the top.
Not take the best shot, yeah. Buying time is a valuable thing. But Venny felt he could get away with it, and Miho decided to teach him a lesson.
Venny now on the ball. Got an option.
Ooh,
He's not got it on his hood, though, but he's still slow playing it. Probably his best option from his position.
It was a great play from Dapper as well. Dapper had a chance to come right across, but you knew if he did, he was going to get beat. This one popped up in front, goes off the bar and under everybody. And CPSLOMONA get away with one.
Kev. Going to keep trying to push this one forwards. I think he looks pretty low on boost at this moment in time. There's going to be Dapper off the backboard. That's going to be the bread and butter. And it's just going to be saved this time by Venny. And now they've got the opportunity to break. Kev leaving it for Venny. Venny, though, launches it early, and Dapper, he can take control of that one. Was very loose, though. I think he wanted to try and follow up his own touch. Miho, straight to Dapper. Immediate challenge. This is going to be awkward right now for Venny.
He's got the space, and he realized it. Good vision there. You were wondering if he was going to try and rush the play and just hand it right back to CLG.
Question on CALPOLYSLOMONA has really been there pacing. Seems to be nailing it a little bit more towards the second half of this game, but that could be costly.
Oh, they had a boost.
Dapper will be able to play that one past. Took a couple of extra steps, but he does get it past the defense.
Yeah, it's just a weak touch from Venny, and Kev started pushing forward. He thought there was going to be a little bit more kapow behind that touch from Venny, and unfortunately, he only had 24 boosts waiting at the top of the box, and he was facing the wrong way when Dapper caught that one, and there was no way he was going to make it.
But now, minute and 15 remaining. Venny, straight off the backboard. He's hoping for a mistake here from Miho, who does not provide one. He's got it straight over to Dapper. That is the danger you run against some of these teams. Any loose ball can immediately be capitalized on. Venny, good save, but it will not be there for the second one. Miho with his third.
It's that same problem. All Kev has to do here is buy time. To be fair, that ball's high on the side of the wall in the corner. There's not an easy way to catch that ball cleanly. So it's really just making that decision of, I have to let this bounce. I have to buy time and let Venny get back on defense. And he's just thinking maybe I can get a big enough piece of it to send it back into the midfield. But if not done perfectly, he'll get scored on.
Dapper straight to the corner. He's got boost, then he can go for a challenge. Venny trying to keep this one alive for his team, though. Need a goal, and he needs it soon. Miho, he's going to take that bouncing back forward touch. And that is how you buy time for your teammate. Venny now, infield option, not quite there. Miho misses the boost. That's going to drop straight back down. Who's going to be the first one to this one? It's going to be Dapper. He's taking his time. Maybe a little bit too much. Now the 2v1, Dapper and Miho against Venny.
This is going nowhere.
And they are, well, it was pretty at the very least.
It did look pretty. You know, that's... I spent a lot of time playing FIFA on my previous trip here because of the World
FIFA
Cup.
or FIFA Street? That was a FIFA Street right there.
Yeah. But, no, I was playing the regular old FIFA on some Xbox last time I was here, and they said, easy on the eyes, easy to defend.
CLG, they are going to be one more game away from progressing on to the next part of the bracket. Better performance, though, from CALPOLYSLOMONA.
Again?
From who?
From CALPOLYSLOMONA.
Just checking. CALPOLYSLOMONA. Yeah, a better performance
I'm
from them.
upset that I've got that correct more times than I've actually got our own hashtag correct.
That is true. And you're more confident in that when I
It's because you always just throw it on us. It's just like
this, and then you go, oh, God. I mean, yeah, a much improved performance from them. 3 goals on the board. They're growing into the series a little bit. Gave CLG a little bit of a scare there, but that seemed to just wake CLG up a little bit, and they turned it on after that.
Kind of... It's a showing of different problems than the first game. The first game was a lot of flubbed clears and poor touches. This game was just a little bit too much aggression. Not realizing the space differential between CLG and their own team, how much time they had to buy. They just get caught out a little bit too far forward and think they could get away with one, and they really couldn't.
It really has been the Goldilocks effect throughout this series. The first one, too cold. You know, they weren't really moving forward too much.
I was so interested in this analogy. Go on.
Forward, like too forward in the second one, you know, playing way too hot. See if we can get it right this time.
Yeah.
Just right.
Just right.
I believe
so is just right the playing
just right
properly
to me.
spaced,
So
or is that, you know...
This is the interesting thing, especially at the sort of level these guys are playing at, where you look at the pros and you see that they play fast.
Yes.
And a lot of players out there, they assume, okay, I just got to play fast. No, you've got to vary that speed. That speed has got to be a top speed that they can achieve, but if you can vary it, you throw people off. And that's exactly what's happened here, where I believe CALPOLYSLOMONA have sort of expected things to be coming at them a million miles an hour, and they're positioning for that. And then when it comes at them slower, they're just like, oh, well, we don't really know what we're supposed to do now because we've already moved.
Yeah, they're ready. They are really ready to go. And to be honest, not the worst mindset to have, but unfortunately, you know...
It's like playing poker. You just throw your cards down on the table before you've even started betting anything.
Sure. I don't know if
that sounded like a personal experience where Shogun learned to play poker very quickly. It's like, no, just take those back.
You don't want them to know what you have.
You think any of my mates would let me take that back?
It's very true. It's very, very true. But I mean, CLG obviously just one game now from progressing to the next round of the tournament. Probably the strongest performance we've seen in the round number 1 from one of these top teams that we've seen throughout the Universal Open. But still a few questions. Not quite as clinical as I'd maybe like to see them be in certain situations.
Yeah, CLG they've had a pretty. What's the word? It's an ice cream flavor, you know. It's a pretty vanilla game from them.
We're going too far on the analogies today, people.
I just like vanilla ice cream. Okay, I'm sorry.
Like to your point though, on set, I believe definitely they have been solid what they've been presented, but there's been very few goals I've seen so far where they've been sort of, you know, forced to create it.
Yes, straight up.
You know, where I'm looking at it and just going, okay, you created that. There was very little wrong there on the opponents. We'll be looking forward to seeing that later on in the tournament, but you can only play against what you're against right now, and they're doing well against that.
Yeah, it's very true. They've obviously only got to win one more game to progress, and that's what they're going to be looking to do. Just a couple of games away from. The wonderful thing about this bracket is just a couple of games away from a LAN tournament. I love that about this tournament as well. It's like it's not just like you've won an online tournament. It's like okay, we get to go to LAN now, and then we potentially get to go to another LAN and win a big slice of $100,000. But so that's always nice to see. But obviously we're into our next game now. Potential last game of the series with CLG looking so strong, gentlemen. Do your worst. It's over to you once more.
That's a challenge right there. I thought I was already doing pretty bad. Dapper, good challenge though from him to start off. CLG, there's that backboard again, and Benny has missed it immediately.
Kev.
Dapper taking his time. Kev all by himself, and Dapper just runs that one forward. Well, at least CALPOLYSLOMONA will know exactly what they need to work on.
Yeah, it compounded themselves here. The missed challenge already leaving Kev in the 1-on-2, and the icing on the cake was him clipping the lip with the 2 wheels and saying, hey, here's the net.
12 seconds in, CLG have already got themselves their first goal. CALPOLYSLOMONA were actually very good though at getting back into it last time. Nice tap on there from Miho. Dapper trying to chase down. It's going to go over the top, but Miho does win the challenge. Looking for the tap down, but it's going to go to the opposite side of where he was expecting it. Now Kev, he backs down. Miho tries to fake out. And Dapper, he is just going to take his time here.
I love that play from Dapper. It's so smart. It's just so much forward vision to be like, they're not in front of me. I can do whatever I want with this first touch. And that's really the ability of a great player.
Oh, just over touch. That was a slight communication breakdown there from CLG. I feel like they're just trying to slowly integrate these passing plays. Definitely something they're going to need later on in the tournament.
Absolutely. Open net, though.
Dapper, lovely save from him. It's going to require Miho to keep that one going.
Oh, no.
There's the block. 2 players required. Miho, he tried to go to the safety zone off the corner. It wasn't quite there because it wasn't safe, and Benny can turn that one in. 1 goal apiece.
Kind of confused how CLG broke down here. Yeah, they double committed, but they weren't in the worst spot to defend this. I think
Miho just kept going.
Miho just thought Dapper was going to make a play on it, started moving forward, and Miho also didn't have any boost to work with in the net, so I mean, just a little bit of misunderstanding there between CLG, and they give up the equalizer.
Good block there from Dapper. Opens up space for Miho, who's put that one high, but Benny this time. And that is the perfect touch. He's kept it close to the wall. It's not going to allow any follow-up there from CLG, but it does not mean the pressure is gone. Benny can't win the challenge, and that is going to be straight past. Very similar to how CLG just conceded.
Yeah, pretty much. Missed challenge. Kev trying to race back into the net. Doesn't have any boost.
There's a shiny thing over there.
There's a shiny thing over there. That is the truer words never spoken, Shogun. Truer words. I like shiny things.
We all like shiny. This is a video game. There is a shiny thing. We have been programmed since youth.
It's ingrained.
To go for it.
Boost
People
over
call me
ball.
a boost chaser. I call it just habit. Benny's backflip. Back over to Kev. Backing off quite a bit here. Benny going in for the challenge. That's better that time. So tried to force the early move.
Man.
Almost got caught for it though.
Yeah. Dapper with great timing out of the midfield there. And that one floats through. Surprising again. I gotta wonder how this one happens. This is just crunched by Miho, because he knows Dapper's up there. It doesn't matter if he gets it or not. Just goes off the ceiling. Vinny's thinking, I have time to grab the corner boost. What's the worst that could happen? Literally that.
Never trust the ceiling. Unless Squishy's on it. Then really don't trust the ceiling.
And then say, why is the ceiling with a controller?
Miho, clear out. 3 goals to 1 now. CLG, so they look to move on to the next round. But Benny, he's picked himself up a brace.
Well,
and once again, CLG, I think they're just a step or two ahead of themselves right now, not respecting the midfield challenge.
Yeah, certainly not. I think Dapper definitely a little bit ready to go cherry pick something there on the left-hand side, and just not the strongest touch to get it all the way across the pitch. And Kev and Vinny say, look, you can make mistakes, and we're just as capable of punishing them for sure.
Miho with the clear. A lovely challenge, though, as Dapper now. Trying to keep it out. There's going to be Kev, though. He's missed the ball off that backboard once again. That time not even that high up.
Oh, he gave up the ball.
Minutes remaining, and Dapper, he's got all the time in the world, and he can't force it underneath.
But you could see Dapper again. Great vision on the dribble. He saw the early jump at a CPSLOMONA. Wide open net, back wall, and out. Tough break. Could have been a great equalizer as that one's touched away as well.
Well, we mentioned it earlier on. It was open, and therefore it was the most difficult shot in the game.
It always is. They had a shot like that earlier in this one, too. They had the complete right side open on the net. I believe it was Kev in control, and I think he just got a little bit antsy of shooting it at Vinny. Didn't want his teammate to save it. And unfortunately, he ended up throwing it right at Dapper so he could save it. The placement just has not been perfect for CP Slow, as it often has to be.
You know it's bad when Achieve starts shortening the name.
Well, I have a habit of calling them CP Slow, and then I realize they're not CP Slow, they're CP Pomona.
Oh, just off target again. Dapper, though, has committed. Venny, the flick over the top. Can't follow up, though. Dapper was on anything other than zero boost. You know you would have tried to chase forward for that one, but Miho's going to take the free ball for himself. And goes for the kill shot. And he's nailed it.
I love it. I love it from Miho. And again, they've done it all series long. They've taken the ball on a dribble. They've forced Vinny and Kev to give them space. They slow down the play, and they make them think. And this time, Miho says, no, it's the same pace. It's just not the ball. It's me. Yo.
Get right up in their faces. You know who just scored on you. There's now 2 goals required from CALPOLYSLOMONA. Got to try and find a way around this blue defense as Dapper's got the ball on his hood. Tries to pre-jump the attempted block, and he's going to get all the way through. Hesitation on the side of CALPOLYSLOMONA, and that will cost them.
Again, it's just this great vision. They slow the play down. Kev doing the right thing, trying to demo Dapper. Problem is, just didn't expect a little short hop, went right under him. And Kev was like, aha, he made him jump. I can go get the ball. But then came that one extra touch, and that's all she wrote.
Nice bump. Going to completely remove the boost away from Kev, so it's going to be all down to Venny, and that might be all he needs. As there's drop down, and they will eventually clear. 40 seconds left now. 3 goals is the difference. CLG looked comfortable so far in this series. There will be questions for them to answer, but those will be questions they'd have to answer later on in the bracket. Miho, yet another big clear. Venny challenges it straight off the wall. Dapper's got control. There's a heavy first touch, though, and the challenge coming through from Kev as they look to try and grab at least 1 more goal. 3 goals will be too much to ask of them, and that will be it.
I didn't think that was going in.
I don't think anyone else did either, but for CALPOLYSLOMONA, they will take that one.
Yeah, just there's not much to this one. Crunched off the corner.
Never trust the wall.
Never trust the wall, the sides, everything but the grass is your worst enemy.
All inanimate objects are out to get you. And that's not my paranoia speaking.
These are true facts.
Dapper. I'm going to try and give his team 1 more. That is going to be well saved. 1 more chance, though, for Dapper, and he's going to be saved yet again. So, CLG moving on to the next round. CALPOLYSLOMONA. It's a goal series. I eventually got it wrong.
CALPOLYSLOMONA.
The funny thing is that you said that, and the time previous you said that, I thought we've all said it so many times now that we're all good with it. So I'm really happy that you messed that up. But anyway, CALPOLYSLOMONA, that's how you say it.
Yeah, cheers, man.
That's how you do it. Just got you, Shogun. Don't worry about it, mate. They unfortunately will drop down to a lower bracket, where they will have a chance at a lower bracket run. But I mean, CLG gentlemen, flexing the muscles there in that game.
Flexing the muscles, it's less of a flex and more of a you're doing your stretches before your workout. And they did get to exercise them a little bit, you know, because I did like to see, you got to see the change of speed, the variation that you get in a decent sense of what Dapper and Miho are going to be trying to do versus their other opposition. You didn't really see them pour on the gas, so to speak, here. It was just saying, hey, can we beat these guys? And they really did.
Yeah, it was definitely a case of they were happy just to stay 1 or 2 goals out the entire way through. They could have, I reckon they could have definitely put much more of a beating down. But they didn't seem to want to do that. And for CLG, they've got better in there. And I think they'll definitely play better in higher and faster paced games against teams that are more willing to challenge them. But for the most part, CALPOLYSLOMONA were very happy just to sit on their own goal line and
they backed off the ball a lot.
They did, and I think when you're getting, that's not going to happen a lot for CLG, so they're not going to get too used to that. They're going to be waiting for a faster-paced opponent.
Well, CLG did what CLG had to do in our first game of the day. Just a quick note as well, 23 goals scored during that series, so thanks to our fantastic partners over at Soylent. That means 230 meals will be donated to the World Food Programme USA. Again, if you want to get involved with a fantastic cause or you want some more information, head over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. All the goodness is over there on that website, so please get involved and thanks to our partner Soylent once again for being involved with that. Let's have a quick brisk bracket update now and see how that's changed things for all you guys at home. See CLG taking that win home pretty convincingly there. They'll move into the next round where you can see one of the games we've got ready to go as well. Scissor Your Card versus Lights Out will be one of those games. And of course, in the lower bracket there, you can see Fierce Pelicans taking down Chickens 3-0. Not sure if Chickens managed to show up this time.
They did get their match.
Yes. 3-0s. Oh, we wanted the Pelicans versus the Chickens. And we didn't get it.
But at least it happened. That's what I really cared about.
Did it happen?
It probably did not happen.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe.
But we never saw it not happen, which means that I imagine it was the greatest game ever.
It was the 3-0, but boy, it shouldn't have been a 3-0. it was a Game 5 series.
The overtime was so long, we counted it for extra games.
It's very
a long game.
60 minutes.
I can't believe we didn't get to see that game. I'm so disappointed. I wanted to get really hyped about it as well. But of course, we want you guys to get involved as well. So use that hashtag UOS2. I'm going to check my phone during the break and see if any tweets have come in as well. Of course, head over to Twitter and follow us at Universal Open as well. But gentlemen, that's going to do it all for our game number 1. But of course, we've got 3 more games to come. We're going to go for a very quick break. When we get back, it's game number 2.